following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. And we've got Janet Yellen out there, and the dollar is yelling. And I don't know what else you can say about that, but we got a dollar index that took a huge move on the announcement that they were taking out, of course, the patients. But I was talking to Andy Heck yesterday, and I said, Janet Yellen wants to be a little bit pregnant. And I'm not talking about a baby. I'm talking about the concept of either you are or not. It's a binary outcome. But I figured that she'd try to weasel something else out in there. And, of course, she did by saying that economic is, not doing so good. So we haven't made any decisions. We're just taking this word out. And don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain here. And the answer is that Fed, historically, since they've been around, have always been late to the party for when they're supposed to raise. In fact, there was a big discussion in the summer of 1929 about them doing it, and everybody just said, no, you can't. You're going to ruin the party. And they're always kind of late to the party when doing that. But we're probably going to calm it down after a little bit. But we can see whether or not we'll get anything out of this. But I digress. As always, we like to start off with a little bit of history out here. And where's my history? Oh, well, I should have history somewhere. I just have to find my history. Why did I lose it? Everything is weird. I don't know what happened out here, but it's gone. My history sound clip is gone. So where'd it go? I will add it on the fly if I think I can. There it is.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1992, Chambers Development Company, one of the nation's hottest growth stocks, drops from $30.50 to $11.50, or a 62% drop, on the news that its landfill company owns and its own accounting may be totally garbage. It was totally garbage. I think they were out of business not too long after. They had to go back and refile all their earnings statements back to like 1998. And guess what? It was a fraud. You probably would have, if you've been in the stock, and know that something was going on, as it was under pressure before then. Of course, the street knew and decided to exit stage left before the tide went out. And nothing new on this. Every once in a while you get one of these. It's been a while. I think a lot of the problems in 2007, 2008, basically blew up a lot of the companies that were fraudulent already. And of course, the Fed really leaning on companies for their accounting. And of course, the change in the law where if you're the CEO and the CFO, you have to sign on the dotted line saying basically you can't blame somebody else. It's kind of like the prison guards at the Auschwitz. They couldn't really, I wasn't there. I didn't do anything. Basically, you sign on the dotted line. It's kind of hard to say that you're not doing it anymore. So that's cut down on it quite a deal. We still see restatements, but for the most part, they're not anything as nasty as what we saw in the 90s and even into Enron. But what can you say? The Israeli elections were out last night, and I think after we let everything start to kind of fall out here, we'll probably see a little bit more volatility. I expect huge amounts tomorrow. Right now, I think everybody's a little bit stunned. They're not exactly sure what to make of this. And of course, we had a kind of a nice little spike out here. We're on the kind of high end of where we should expire. I think there's going to be a lot more volatility before the end of the day here. We're probably going to test lows, test highs, and see what else is going on out here. But we'll see. But probably the most interesting thing, I think, other than the Fed in the last 24 hours, was the Israeli elections. Of course, there was a lot of pressure from the U.S. administration to make sure that he did not get elected, including sending over people like Paul Begala. And I thought there's something really that has physically changed about our relationship with the Israelis. And I could tell watching the news last night. It was pretty, I was basically looking at the Israeli websites yesterday in about the 5 o'clock hour. And everybody said, hey, the election's over and we won big. And no one would say anything. And it was kind of very interesting to me how I could see the Israelis basically saying it was all over and partying. And there was a webcam in I think one of the party headquarters, and I guess both of them, and a bunch of people were crying. And in the other one, everybody was screaming and happy. So I figured everybody knew what was going on already. Why it took 5 hours before anybody would say it was okay on this side of the pond is beyond me, especially when we had reporters there. But I think something is, at least in the press, has physically changed, because they were outright hostile, if not racist, in covering this election last night, from CNN to even Fox not even wanting to say that Netanyahu won. To me, this is probably one of the biggest events in this year coming for crude and energy, with the Iranians basically covering 3 different spots in the Gulf where they could physically attack tankers coming out. Probably the biggest issue is whether or not anybody is going to turn them back from fairly nasty business everywhere they go. And of course, basically running 4 countries as puppet states at the moment. And not a lot of people, very much like World War II, where Winston Churchill was running around trying to get everybody to stand up like a man, and everybody was trying to be an ostrich when problems were around. But I see a lot of parallels before World War II. I can't say that it's going to get out of hand like it did then. I can tell you, though, that it certainly looks to me like there is going to be action, and it'd be very tough for me to say that I wanted to be short crude very much longer out here. It would only take probably an attack by the Israelis and or the Iranians not liking the price of crude to fire a couple of missiles at some tankers, and we could see some huge movements. So a lot of stuff geopolitically really warming up. I would be more interested in trying to catch, if you could, any kind of bounce out of the energy sector. And I think this probably means the closer this year, or let me put it this way, if he would have lost, I suspect that means that any of the geopolitical action would have probably come later than sooner. Him getting elected probably means it's sooner rather than later. And I would be very, very careful. I know a lot of people have been using the overwhelmed or overused metaphor of everybody on one side of the boat. But certainly, if we were talking a bunch of different things out here, they are all that. that everybody is on one side of the boat on a lot of these trades, and everybody is pounding crude out here. Not saying it won't go lower. Just look for absolutely hugely wicked moves. And I think we might see that in the next day or two in energy, especially if the dollar continues to move. And I'm looking at the dollar index at 98.80. My guess is that this is moving back to 96. When we look at crude quickly, just off 43 cents now. So you really got to watch that. Between the dollar moving, between geopolitical risks out here, I suspect that we have at least a fairly short-term low in crude, and it'll pop back into that $45 trading range that Andy Heck has been talking about, which takes us from, what, about $45 to $55 in the near future. Anyway, what else do we have going on here? I think everything else is rather interesting. Let's just take a quick look and see if I've got anything else going on. I'm looking at a handful of things. I may have missed an entry. I tried to get it off and out to my subscribers to see what else we have. See if there's anyone else out here. XOM, we've been talking about these crude stocks down at these lows for a while. It was very unclear what was supporting them, but certainly there weren't a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon to blow these things through the lows. Now they're going to be back in the trading range. XOM, what I was keying off of was the December 16th low at $86.16, 26 million shares, 22 million shares in January 29th. So you had a little bounce, but what we really had is this very low volume plunge back below 86.19 in Exxon. And you had, what, 14 million shares, 17 million shares, 13 million shares. Been kind of going sideways, as high as 16 million, but 7 million. It's going to be a low volume move back into this lower range, but anything over $86.16 means that you're back in the trading range for Exxon Mobil. And we all know that fund managers only know one thing, and that is to buy these big things that really don't move very far because they don't get yelled at much. And we'll look at some other ones. I think Oxy, I want to take another look on OXY. Another one out here, we've been talking about the Oxy, I think, for a few days out here. Another one that looks like it's popped back into the trading range. December 16th, $72.32, 8.8 million shares. And, of course, 1.7 million shares today so far, so fairly light. But if we go back a couple of days, less than 4 million yesterday, 5.4 million the day before, and these are all under that December 16th low also in Oxy. And this puts us squarely back in that trading range. So we'll continue looking at it. $98.71 on the dollar index on the current contract. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're listening. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And of course, Mrs. Yellen will speak at in about 10 minutes. So we should see a little bit of tamp down of volatility as she speaks, unless something truly amazing happens. Probably going to see a flat market till about 3:15 when she's normally done, or 3:10. Maybe she's done earlier today, but when I've sat the last 3 or 4, it pretty much lasted to about 3:10, 3:15. So we'll be looking at that. As always, when we talk about Janet Yellen, we have to do the Janet Yellen prayer. I'm sorry, but it is something we have to do. For our Janet, who art in finance, hallowed be the Yellen. Thy auctions come, thy bills be done, in twos as they are in sevens. Give us this day our daily fed, and forgive us our treasuries, as we forgive those that default against us. And lead us not into recession, and deliver us from deflation. For thine is the borrowing, the easing, and the printing, forever and ever and ever. Amen. And that goes by. I'm able to catch up on a fast-moving market. We're up 19 points on the S&P cash. Besides that, why is that doing that? 2093 on the S&P cash, 2.34 billion shares. And of course, a little bit of short squeeze going on out here, which is something I was looking at. And it's kind of tough to catch some of these things out here, but we'll be talking about those and other movements out here on the webinar tonight, which I'll have for my subscribers. You'll have a chance to get in on it yet today. Just go to the front page of TFNN and sign up for my newsletter for 1 month free. If you don't like it, you can quit at any time. And also, you can use Tiger Dollars and actually get on board. We've got one position now. I've got sent out a buy on another position right after Miss Yellen came out and said, hey, surprise. And we'll be looking at it. But I've got probably my best stock that we're actually in right now is a stock that has 10 days to cover. And I'm betting on a short squeeze. And I'm happy because I was going to lose a little or make a lot. And I've got the opportunity, if we can just get a little bit going here, to have a nice little payday here on one of our option positions, which we're in at about 18 cents, something like that. And I hope to sell at $1 or $1.50 if things work out the way I think they are. So we got that one. We got another one that I think is going to go from mid to upper 90s to $100 for Friday, but we'll have to see whether or not I can get into that one yet. Had one this morning that I missed also, and we'll be talking about why I missed it and the risk reward, a lot of that stuff in the webinar tonight. Go to the front page of TFNN and check that out, and also sign up for some Tiger Dollars while you're there. And I'll excuse you for the show why you do that. Anyway, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. You can post a message in the den, and, of course, email me at path@tfnn.com. And if you subscribe to my newsletter, I'll be sending you a white paper on how these options, last-minute options, work. I wanted to look at a few other things here, as it is a fast-moving market, so I'll give you that. Well, we got the VIX moving. It took a huge hammer down, which makes a lot of sense. What else do we have out here? Doug getting slammed, which is probably correct. And here we go for the rest of the stuff. Okay. I was just trying to look at something else. 2092, 2.4 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape, and the dollar index on the continuous contract is $98.78. We're down 81 cents. And again, I suspect that takes us back down to that 96, upper 95 level, where there should be some rather significant support. There's probably going to be a lot of fits and starts. We had pretty much a impulse wave higher, an impulse wave. Oh, got a break here. We'll be back in just a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. We're going to go right to a caller. We've got Sue in Tampa. How you doing today, Sue?
Thank you so much for taking my call, David. Good afternoon. Yeah, would you please help me look at the Apple? I'm short at it. Should I just take it out or look like it's going up all the time?
Yeah. You want to go long or short, or you are long or
already
short?
short on it.
What's that?
I already short it. I have a short at $1.24 or something.
Yeah. Are you wanting to buy it, or are you wanting to short it?
No, I already have it. The Apple already have it, but they keep going up. I short on it.
Yeah. How much did you buy it at?
120.
122.64.
122.60. Yeah.
What was your plan before when you bought it? Where did you want to sell it?
I was thinking to sell it less than $3-4 less than 122, but it keep going up. My goodness.
So you're long the stock, correct?
No, I'm charting the stock. I already chart it, and they're going up so fast.
Yeah. It's up
So I have to
3 or
cover it.
4% from the 122. I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to do on this. Are you want to go short? You want to go long?
No, I want to cover it, sell cover it, or should I just say it?
So you are short?
Yeah, I already short on it.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. I've got
Yes.
I don't have the best connection here, so I
Oh,
wanted.
so sorry. Yes.
Okay. The question is, where was your stop when you entered the trade? Where were you going to stop out?
I was thinking to stop 127 something, but
Yeah.
then they keep going up because I wait for the new, but they keep going up now.
Yep. I don't. In fact, I'm going to be talking about it in my webinar.
Yes.
It's awful tough to be shorting stocks into option expiration. About 80% of expirations are higher than the Wednesday before. I'm going to be talking about that tonight in my webinar. I would have wanted to wait until probably today to short it if I was going to short it at all, and to get out of the expiration cycle, or mostly out of the expiration cycle. Volume's not all that great out here today. My guess is that maybe this gets a little pullback to about 125. You know, to me, huh?
And get out, you mean?
That would be, if you get a pullback to 125, I'd probably want to be out right there. There's a gap where this thing gapped up, and if you're lucky, that's where you're going to be able to get out. What was that? The gap up was on the 17th, but you had, what was the close? 124.95 to the open, which was 125.90. So you have about a buck gap there. And my guess is that this thing's probably going to fool around and come back there maybe Monday or Tuesday, something like this. I don't see a lot of juice in this stock. Now, that being said, there's a kind of a small bias to the downside in the stock when you look at options. But I would have not bought the stock, and I would not have shorted it. I think there were probably much better positions out there in the market than Apple at this time. So if you can get out at 125, I think, and cover your shorts, I think that would be good. The problem with Apple right now is every big hedge fund's in this, and it goes up a little and they start selling. It goes down a little and they start buying. So I'm not expecting this stock to have a lot of movement until probably another couple of months down the line. We get into the next earnings cycle, you're probably going to get some movement. Until then, I think this thing's pretty horribly range bound, because this thing's about 90% institutionally owned now. And people are not buying it and selling it. They're, if anybody sells it, someone's buying it. Anybody decide if it goes up any, people are selling it. And I just think this thing's probably going to go kind of sideways here for a little while. So look for some.
Should I just wait until Monday, sell it? Because I'll lose quite a bit of money.
I would be, of course, putting a stop in somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
What is good to put a stop on it? 120?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're short at 123, right?
Yes.
Okay. So normally you'd probably want to give like a 5% stop. That means about $7. So you wouldn't want to be in this thing above 130.
130. So I just put a stop 130 right now.
I put it 130 and change, 130.13 or something. But my guess is that you're probably going to get a little bit of pullback Monday and Tuesday, back probably around that 125 area. So we'll look at it that.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks
okay.
So
well,
much.
no guarantees, but yeah, I think you get a little bit of a pullback, and there's not a lot of pressure in the stock right now. But yeah, put your stop in. And did you see me earlier in the show you Oxy and Exxon?
No.
There are a lot of stocks. I'm going to be going through them in the next half hour here. Okay. There are a lot of stocks that were testing highs or testing lows on lighter volume. Basically that's where you start making a big decision on whether or not, you need to put a position in. Also, even if you wanted to short this thing, I would have been shorting it at a 50% retracement from the high, that February 24th high to the March 12th low. And if you just look at a standard retracement, 127.62 would have been the first place that I would have even thought of shorting this. That would have been a 50% retracement, and you would have been off a lot better than that. But you have Tom O'Brien's book?
No.
Okay. Best money that you will spend. Wait for the retraces, see how the volume is. The stock's up on very light volume here, so it's not bad. but you would have been much better waiting for a retrace at like 50% of that move. Are you watching on Tiger TV?
Yeah.
Okay. So you should be able to see my chart here. And over here on the right-hand side, just 50% of that move to the downside, that bounce would take you into 127.62. And if you got the 618, that's going to take you to 129. And that's probably somewhere right in here. If you wanted to go short, would be where you'd go short. That one, I don't know. How did you get? Why did you decide on that 123?
Well, I guess I think listen to. Let me see. I don't know. It's something they say the Apple is a downtrend. So
yeah, it can, but it basically to get your risk reward correctly, you need to wait for a bounce in the stock, and if that bounce comes on light volume like this did, you wait for it to get about 50% of the last move, and then you act.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
thank you so much for
But
giving.
a little bit, what Janet didn't got out of the FOMC today, patience, is exactly what probably most traders would make a lot more money with, and that is wait for it to kind of come to you. There's always another bust coming down the line. There's always another stock trade. So just wait until you get that bounce before you get in. I think that there are a bunch of better stocks, and we'll get into them at the rest of the show. Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much for your knowledge. Thank you so much.
Okay, you bet. We were talking about stocks, and we've been talking about Exxon and Oxy for the last couple of days. It just seems to me, especially when we had those stocks down there on light volume, if you wanted to, I know that maybe you didn't want to get in front of them, in front of the FOMC, but to me, those were the ones that you needed to have your finger on the trigger on at 2 o'clock. And when she backed away from that, to me, that was the buy signal. And we know how many people were, in fact, I saw it this morning on CNBC, somebody calling for like $20 or $25 on crude. I figured right then we were probably pretty close. So I'll continue to keep an eye on that, but it is tough out here. Okay. Let's look at a few other stocks out here while we're getting busy. Like I said, there's a lot of stocks out here that if you want to go short or long are giving better signals. Ambev, we've been talking about this one for a couple of days on the show. And if you wanted to buy stocks, I like to either buy them at highs when they're testing highs on no volume, or buy them on lows, sell them at highs when no volume, and buy them at lows when there's no volume. And certainly Ambev has been one of these at 556 on December 16th at 17 million shares. Got into it in a little doji out here on March 13th with 9.5 million shares. So half the volume. And of course, energy was a little less coming out of here, but nice little bounce out here today. But I would say that was kind of a good setup. We're starting to see Ballard Power out here today. This one also has finally come into this gap. Much better play also if you're looking for penny stocks. This nice, huge sign of strength on the 11th of February came up with over 31 million shares. It's working its way back in there. And nice little bounce out here today. Not a lot of volume. Now, can this get back to $1.80? I think the answer is yes, but I like that risk reward into that huge gap up. Caterpillar, I'm going to talk about this one as the one that got away this morning, and we'll be talking about this in the webinar tonight. I kind of really like this one for a variety of reasons, and we're going to go through it. But January 29th, $78.81, 9.1 million shares, and March 13th, this got into it, pierced that low with 7.2 million shares, so volume was off about 20%. And I wouldn't marry it. I just think that this thing was in line for a bounce, and we put it in the newsletter. But unfortunately, you have to be pretty quick, and they moved this thing right off the lows before the options ever opened up on it this morning. Other stocks of interest out here, Cumulus Media. If you're looking for some other stocks that are out here and doing a little bottom fishing, I like this one. CMLS, and the reason why, a 9 million share low on November 11th at $2.88. It's pierced that, and it's just kind of hanging out at these lows. I'd need to do some more research, but I mean, this kind of came down on too much volume. But if this thing would consolidate out here for a while, that could be very interesting. Other stocks of interest, Dang, if you're into those Chinese equities, did test its previous February 2nd low, $7.76, 1.3 million shares with less than a million shares yesterday. It's back into the trading range, and pretty good trading range, $2 on a $7.50 stock, back up to February 23rd, maybe. We'll see what the volume comes out here today. FOLD, I wouldn't be shorting a $10 stock, but there's some stocks out here that are showing some weakness. Amicus Therapeutics, the biopharma, January 8th hit a high, $9.73 with 4.6 million shares. Just got into it yesterday with 1.4 million shares, so a pretty good sell signal if you were long that. What else do we have? Great Panther Silver. We've been talking about a few of these stocks, and I haven't even had a chance. We've been talking about AUY also. I want to see how that one's doing out here. This one, Great Panthers, had a couple of 1.7, 1.6 million shares low back on December 23rd. It's got into it with 820,000 shares on March 10th, and it's been pretty low since then. This is not a bad little move out here. No volume so far today. But, of course, it's kind of late in the day. AUY. Not so bad. Some of these things, it is one of the bigger dogs in the gold market. And maybe there's better out here, but maybe this is a good indication. I think we talked about this one for a while yesterday. November 5th is the key on this one. It hit $3.45 with 25 million shares. Tried to get into it. About 7 cents higher on December 16th with 16 million shares. Got into it, pierced it, which is what I want. I want it to prove the point, and it did so on March 11th by going below that low, closing back above it the next day with 10 million shares, so less than half the volume. And, could it have gone either way today? Yeah, but to me, this was a much better bet than a lot of other things out here. My guess is that you didn't have a lot farther down and the possibility of much higher out here. KBR, another one of these stocks out here, testing actually today a low on lighter volume. The December 12th low of 7.9 million shares, $14.65. It pierced it today, just a million shares so far, so we're going to have to see how that holds up. How much time I got left? 1 minute in this segment. Leg Platt, or Leggett and Platt, LEG. This one's kind of hitting these highs. Very light volume out here today. I want to see how this one closes, but it's up against its 3 million share high from January 13th, $45.79. Had a million shares a couple of days ago, 800,000 shares yesterday, 400,000 shares today. And the question is whether or not these things can hold their highs if we get volume coming in tomorrow. On the downside, Mattel, not a bad-looking stock. It is lower today, but I'm looking for some of these stocks to kind of pop back into the trading range, kind of like we saw in the crude stocks or the energy stocks like we saw. This thing had a 24 million share low at just under $25 on January 26th, and 5.2 million shares today. So keep an eye on a couple of these. These things could pop back, especially in the next couple of days. Catch you on the flip side of this commercial.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. As this one-of-a-kind winter comes to a close and spring approaches, it only seems fitting that now is the perfect time for a spring Tiger Dollar sale. For this week only, we're doubling the bonus that we give when you purchase any amount of Tiger Dollars. Normally, we offer a 10, 15, or 20% bonus when you purchase Tiger Dollars, but for this week only, we're doubling our special offers, and you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even up to a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. This is one of our best Tiger Dollar sales of the year and won't be around for long. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN product or service and provide a great way to lock in added value on your subscriptions. Tiger Dollars never expire, so whether you're a current subscriber or plan on subscribing at one point in the future, take advantage of this spring Tiger Dollar sale this week only and get up to a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. This sale ends Sunday night, so don't miss out. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Get your Tiger Dollars today and lock in your bonus before this sale passes you by.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Want to talk a little bit about our webinar for subscribers tonight. You still have the opportunity to get involved. I'll tell you a story that goes back over 10 years. In fact, a little over 10 years now. And that is, I bumped into a book called Fooled by Randomness, and really got into trading expiration options. Back then, it was a very easy thing to do because there was a thing called the OEX. And talk about putting people through college. Tom did by trading it in the last few days. It was one of the best ways to make some cash with options that has ever been devised. Of course, it was too easy, and the market had to get rid of it once everybody figured out how to make a lot of cash on it. But my introduction was playing a lot of those last-minute options. And in 2003 and 4, a lot of those were on gold stocks. and made some good wood on it. Did a lot with my good friend Tim Ord. And one of the things we did do, or what I did do, is spend about a year going back and looking at it and working on it, and had my first article in the December 2014 issue of Stocks and Commodities. So I've been working on trading options into expiration for over 10 years now. Must be probably more like 12. And actually wrote the definitive article, since I haven't seen anybody actually write another article on it. But it's all about trying to maximize your risk reward in the last couple of days and take a little money and make some good out of it. Anyway, you've heard us talk about the Tesla move, and I've got another stock that's going pretty much in the money right now. A couple of dime away maybe, and it should look fairly good on that. But I will have a webinar. I've written a white paper on the theory of it, and tonight's webinar will be on the actual practice on it. And I go through the things that I look for finding these high probability trades, although we'll get into what probability actually means. But pretty high probability trades for going into options expiration. And like I said, I thought last Friday we talked about how this was going to be a pretty big deal this week, and we'd get a lot of volatility when maybe a lot of times we don't going into expiration because of the FOMC meeting. But I think we've got 2 more days of wicked fast trades coming on, and we'll be doing that. Anyway, you can go to the front page of TFNN, sign up for my newsletter, and get into the webinar yet today. And of course, if you want my newsletter longer, you can still buy the Tiger Dollars and get a fantastic deal. Just check out the front page of TFNN. I see Tom O'Brien warming up in the bullpen. I'll be back with him in the 4 o'clock hour for a few minutes. We'll be talking about some stuff, and then we'll go on. But to all my subscribers, I'll see you at 5 o'clock tonight, and we'll talk about some of the positions and what else we can do. Anyway, I'm trying to figure if there's anything else while I'm looking at it. Of course, Janet should be on for about another 15 minutes. Normally, she's off by about 3:15. That means that we'll have about 45 minutes to see what the market really thinks it's going to do with this. Right now, up 22 points on the S&P cash, 2.7 billion shares. So volume has really started to come in out here. I suspect that we're probably going to get the lion's share of the bounce here today, as they caught a few shorts on the wrong side of this market. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. So when you can, not when you have to.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.